What's up, y'all? Um, Trae Young just declined his option, and that means that we have another interesting free agent in this market. I will say the current reports right now are saying that he is going to be loyal to the Wizards and that he is probably going to sign a max deal worth up to 156 million, so just a larger contract. I don't know how I feel about that. Will he do it? Maybe, but I think regardless, it is important to look at who else may be in play here because he's clearly testing the market by declining a player option here. So taking a look right now, he had a $49 option lined up for himself. He decides to decline it. He's probably either testing the market, not too interested in a Washington team, which even though they do have the first overall pick, may not be a too exciting team to be a part of when you are um, of his age. We're gonna take a look here at some of the other the other guards, I should say, that are going to be free agents this season. Who potentially he is better than, because to my knowledge, he is entering as the top name at the point guard position, especially as guards in general. Um, so if we go ahead to Sport Track, the best point guard available right now is Colin Sexton. Next being Kobe White, Gabe Vincent, shout out Gauchos. You got Ayo Dosunmu, who has definitely earned himself a better contract here. But as you keep going down, you don't see too many appealing names. Aaron Holiday, Kyle Lowry at 49 years old, or 40.2 years old, but might as well be 40.9 years old. An older Russell Westbrook who still is performing. So I will say that he's up there, but I will definitely be saying that Trae Young is up there. Yeah, he becomes the most appealing point guard candidate there is on the free agent market. Um, Seeing that he just declined his massive player option, so this could be an exciting time for Trae Young to be moving to any teams that are, I'm assuming that him being 27 years old, he's going to look for a contending team. Um, let's go ahead and take a look at the kind of teams that could be using a point guard. A team that I'm very interested in here is the Minnesota Timberwolves. While I know that Ayo Dosunmu has really come out to be his own, Mike Conley is aging and probably going to go. Dante DiVincenzo is an elite point guard. But if you can get Trae Young and pair his shooting alongside Anthony Edwards, who is a pretty solid defender, on a team where you're still starting a Rudy Gobert, that Minnesota Timberwolves team is scary. They already took the Spurs 2-6, and that was on an ant that basically was on one leg the entire series. So I can easily say that adding an elite scorer, someone who will consistently make threes and give you a basically bailout when Ant is on the floor, that is going to be insane for the Timberwolves. Actually, then went and took a look at this, and I don't think this is going to be possible because of the amount of money that they have on the books already. They're going to have to get rid of a Julius Randle via trade. They probably would get rid of a Dante DiVincenzo in this scenario. So if they decide to somehow package them together, that could be the ideal play here. But overall, Rudy Gobert is making a fuck ton of money. Julius Randle making a bunch of money. So Julius Randle is someone who's been talked about getting traded, but we will have to see. Unfortunately, I don't think that they will be too open to getting it. Interesting one here. Yes, you do have the young Cooper Flag, but we've seen it already that you have these opportunities to win while players are still young. We've seen it with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Around him, he has a team that, when healthy, can be one of the best in the league with Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson. Chris Middleton will be leaving, and I'm assuming that in this kind of deal, you would not be getting Chris Middleton back. Um, PJ Washington may be a contract that you may want to expend in a certain way, but overall, Trae Young could definitely change up the landscape here. A really interesting thing that could happen here is if the Lakers let go of AR and instead bring in Trae Young, bringing that kind of shooting to LA is definitely something that I could very much see being in the eyes of the Lakers front office. But if you have LeBron staying on the team for a minimum styled contract, which obviously this is going to be pretty contingent on how LeBron does, you have Luka coming back, who just had a scoring leader. Also, it would be really funny thinking about that they got traded for each other. But the Lakers are honestly where I would want Trae Young to go because I think that team would be super fun to watch with its elite shooting at all levels. Obviously, um, Austin Reeves is great, but I think Trae Young is something that is a player who is just a little bit better. Yes, you don't have good defense with Trae Young, but Austin Reeves was an elite defender anyway. They will have defense heavy lineups. It will depend on how they can keep Rui and, you know, maybe even Luke Kennard off the bench and everything. But the Lakers are a very solid option. The only issue comes that you have a second ball dominant player here, but Austin Reeves is not very good without the ball in his hands, and he made it work. Both Luka and Trae Young could deadass average 7+ assists a season. So maybe interesting for either of them. The issue with Trae Young is that a lot of teams don't really look like they're gonna be looking for the point guard. Some of these teams that are maybe looking for a point guard, I don't know if they're gonna go out of their way and sign them. Um, Even though the Bulls have money, even though the Jazz have money, the Wizards, the Nets, maybe because of the new draft lottery system, these teams may take a flyer on Trae Young and say, "Hey, there's no point in being completely buns. Let's maybe try to compete a little bit here." So Trae Young in a Bulls jersey could be something interesting, but I also don't want that to affect their draft plans, Josh Giddey, and all the other things. But um, yeah, overall, I could see the Rockets making this kind of move, but they just don't have the cap space for it unless they made some major trade or got rid of KD or something. We'll just have to see, but I think this definitely opens up free agency next week. Look back at this trade, while I am interested on where Trae Young is going to go, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the best spot that he should land at. I am more going to be reactionary and see how he fits in with wherever he lands. The main thing was the trade that I wanted to look at. So if I pull this back up here, you see Trae Young was traded to the Washington Wizards for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. Um, Overall, CJ McCollum, his contract is going to be over. Corey Kispert is a young player that is you know very interesting. He's guaranteed this next couple of seasons, being on his rookie scale deal, and then he'll have a team option. So definitely a player that they can develop at the shooting guard, small forward position. You have CJ McCollum, who literally is the only player, I guess one of a few players who really took down the Knicks this season, the NBA champions. I think he has proved his value. I don't think he's worth $30 million in 2026, 27 ish. But um, overall, the Hawks look like they've walked away with this one. Obviously, the idea wasn't to keep Trae Young, it was half a salary dump as well. But, you know, the Wizards were all of a sudden looking like the scary good team if Trae Young was to stay with Trae Young, Anthony Davis, and their first overall pick. Um, Whether it be like an AJ DeBonsta or someone else. Now it's kind of going back to, hey, they'll be a middle of the pack team and they will probably be contending for that first overall pick or the second overall pick. I'm still confused on the lottery rules, but they're probably going to be going for that instead. A shorter video. I don't have too many thoughts on this. Obviously, these segments being called Talk Spurs Talk, I will say straight up, I was seeing some rumors about a Trae Young trade for De'Aaron Fox. I think that completely misses the point on. The whole point is that we don't want Dylan Harper to be coming off the bench and that we want a big, not another guard at this current point in time. So, one, in that aspect, it wouldn't happen. Two, I think we would still have to give up picks for Trae Young. So even if we did get him, we're losing some of our defensive identity because while De'Aaron Fox wasn't a great defender, his speed made him hit at least a somewhat viable defender. And whether he's lost a step or something, I would still rather bet on that defense than what we have at a Trae Young, especially being a defensive identity team. But thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you have a good day. If you're interested in fantasy football, specifically Dynasty Superflex, I'm going to have a link in the description down below for my Dynasty Superflex team, or Dynasty Superflex League. It's going to be a $5 buy-in, standard PPR. Currently we have, I want to say 4 people in it. So go ahead, including myself, go ahead and click on the link if you are interested, and really excited to see any of you guys there.